Hello again, zombies and zombos. It's your one and only masked badass, Saint357, here again for another round. Sorry about the lack of videos for the last few days. Unfortunately, it seems I went and got myself infected, and I've been feeling like death twice warmed over ever since. But don't worry, my little flock, it wasn't the zombie virus that got me, just the flu. Although I gotta say, I've been feeling like the Walking Dead this past week, shuffling around like a rotten biter. I was actually hoping I'd turn, just so this would just end already. But regardless, I got a job to do, and that is to bring you all the reviews and zombie news that's fit to print. So, here we go with another Saint Reviews. This time around, it's another new addition to Netflix's zombie queue and a long-standing zombie movie dynasty. That's right, it's the Spanish language film that made zombies scary again. Record 4, Apocalypse. Now, I can already hear you purists out there going, but Saint, they're not zombies, they're demon possessed. It's a completely different thing. And to you I say, stop it. Stop it right now. I've already had this discussion way too many times now already when it comes to the Evil Dead series. And look, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and eats brains, then it's probably a zombie duck. End of discussion. Now, we can't talk about this newest film in the series without first looking at its predecessors. And I am a huge fan of the first two Record movies. The first one is widely considered a genre buster, invigorating the handheld found footage genre. Now, whether that's a good thing or not, I'll let you discuss among yourselves. That's a whole nother video there. And the second Record managed to build on the original while delivering some truly intense moments and hitting all the high marks. They were intelligent, smart films, a real rarity in horror movies. However, Record 3 was a truly awful mess, and thankfully not really canon. You can just go ahead and pretend it never happened. While directors Jaume Balaguero and Paco Plaza collaborated on both Records 1 and 2, they decided to split up directional duties among the last two films. After sitting through a painful viewing of Plaza's Record 3, I can only conclude that the talent and potential gleamed in the first two films must lay with Balaguero. And with that in mind, I had pretty high expectations for Record 4. The movie opens seemingly moments after the end of Record 2. The apartment building returns to set up the script before the film shifts to the interior of a cramped oil tanker with hardly any transitions. It is by doing this that Balaguero masterfully switches out one claustrophobic stage for another without ever giving the audience a moment of relief or the characters any reprieve. After a slow burn first act, the action kicks into high gear as we are told the hope for saving or destroying the virus lies on that oil bunker. Balaguero is a true horror movie buff, and Record 4 is littered with references from all over the genre. Movies like Aliens, Resident Evil, and Deep Impact, and even games like Resident Evil Revelations. I mean, come on, it takes place on a ship. And speaking of horror movie elements, the zombies slash demons, if you will, look and sound more authentic than ever. And as for the new entry in the enemy roster, well, it might seem a little gimmicky, but it works, and Balaguero has a lot of fun with it. I'm not sure if this would be the goriest entry in the franchise, but it's certainly delivered in that department, especially once the final act kicks in, which is more or less an intense bloodbath in true Record style, never letting up until the end, yet sprinkling the final act with small moments of black comedy. My favorite were the scenes with the outboard motor. Now, I don't want to give too much away, but think Peter Jackson's Brain Dead and you'll no doubt know what I mean. The most pleasant surprise were the characters fleshing out. Fleshing out characters is hardly a priority in most horror scripts, but Record 4 surprised me by turning the tables on usual stereotypical characters, and by the end I was rooting for the unlikeliest of them. And I love that about this movie. The whole thing is propelled forward by an amazing score and excellent sound work. Now, we can't do the good without the bad, but Belliguero has to work with narrow halls and almost no corners in this movie. Sadly, he could not construct the hallways around his shots like James Wan did for The Conjuring. And as such, the shots are tight and cramped. After all, most of the film was shot on a real oil tanker. And I was on board for the director's decision to move past handheld, but that doesn't seem to have helped the shaky cam. And while the movie captures some moments of pure intense action and manages to outdo Record 3 in every way possible, it just doesn't twist the genre like the first two films did, nor will it blow you out of the water. In the end, Record 4 is a satisfying, gory, visceral, and intense conclusion to a mostly unique series. While the first two movies were made with the aim of creating genre busters, Record 4 is made for the fans who followed the series and Angela Vidal from the start, and you will not be disappointed. And that's why I'm giving it my highest and first ever score of 2 rotten thumbs up. Alright, my little monsters, that's all I have for you today, and since it feels like I'm about to throw up, I'm ending this video here. But don't worry, I'll be back better and better than ever. After all, you can't kill what can eternal lie. And with strange eons, even death may die. I've been Saint 357, your host with the most. Blood on his hands, that is. Signing off. And as always, my children, go out and enjoy the wastes.